I'm going to ask you guys to look around your spaces because we're on video now, so we can do video gags, and find anything that you want. One thing needs to represent yourself, and one thing needs to represent your competitor. It can literally be a notepad where you write your names on it. It can be shoes. It could be markers of different colors. Anything you want. I'm just going to need you to have things in your hands.
Just for like a prop?
Well, you're going to hold them up. You're going to you're going to hold one or the other up as a form of like voting almost. So anything you want. I know you live in a pile of garbage, Wade, so you have tons of interesting things all around you.
Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Tell me the floor of your office isn't littered with literally costumes and technology and whatever right now.
Okay, I got it.
Do I have to tell you that?
I would like you both to hold up the object or whatever that you got that represents Wade.
I got a plastic bag.
Yeah, I saw that.
Thank you.
That's very creative, Mark. And then hold up the thing that represents Mark. Jesus Christ.
I have a knife.
I have his scalp. That's why he's wearing a hat today. Thank you.
God.
It's not like a knife. It's just a steak knife that I was using to open boxes. Don't get too excited.
So I'm Elmo in a bag, and Mark's a wig and a knife.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
yeah, you're
that's
bag and
accurate.
Elmo.
Both those are accurate reflections of you, who you are as people.
This really says a lot.
Am I allowed to know why I'm a bag?
You know, you ever feel like a plastic bag floating in the wind? I feel like that is reminiscent of you.
Does Wade know that song reference? Smooth and crinkly.
That's you.
Well, I guess that part's kind of like me. I don't know if I'm ever blown in the wind. I'm more like a rock that just thuds on the ground and stays there wondering why.
That is a song, actually, though. Do you know that song? Do you ever feel like a plastic bag blowing in the wind?
I'm familiar with Katy Perry.
Okay, good. We might have to distort that audio so that we don't get copyright claimed for my beautiful
True.
singing.
It was very
Really
much
nice.
spot on. It was like Katy was in the room
Anyway,
with us.
I'm glad you have your props because the game that we're playing today is, I guess, normally called the shoe game, but I couldn't assume that you guys were wearing shoes, and also you couldn't trade shoes. This is a game that's frequently played at wedding showers, in particular, where the married couple to be sit back to back and they take their shoes off, and each of them has one shoe, one of their own, and then their partner's shoe. So you guys have your props, and then I'm going to ask you some questions. And before we can discuss and you can explain and whatever, but before we discuss anything, I'm going to ask you a question. More like the questions are like, who's messier? Who eats spicier food? Whatever. You pick, and then at the same time, you hold up the object that represents your choice, and then we can discuss.
We're gonna wait until you say 3, 2, 1, go. Right?
Yeah, it'll be quick. I'll say the question. It'll be like, okay, ready? Raise your hand, and then we can discuss. But don't discuss it beforehand, okay?
All right.
Don't cheat.
I understand.
So we're supposed to raise our props at the same
Yeah,
time?
you raise it the same, so you're not influencing each other. And I will say, the way that you get points today is going to be whomever I agree with, because I'm also going to be deciding in my head, but we can discuss. So after you've both made your choices, I would be glad to hear your rationale, or if you're unhappy with one of my selections, you can try and change my mind.
Okay. Sounds
And
good.
I think we all know how that's going to go. So anyway,
Yep.
You guys are going to be married within the month. It's a beautiful day. We're outside at our favorite park with some delicious finger sandwiches and other crudité and whatnot, and we're going to play this lovely game for the happy couple.
I feel beautiful, so thank you.
You sound beautiful. I feel so beautiful right now.
There'll be more of that later.
All right, and then we're going to ease into this. So some of these questions might seem silly, but we can get to the juicy stuff later. All right, first question, fillers. Who is more likely to leave dishes in the sink overnight? Raise them up. Well,
I can't see more.
Yeah, knife.
why are you blocking your face with it? You have the whole frame of the camera to hold that up.
Oh, because I don't see the whole frame. I just see the sectional.
I know it's zoomed in, but it's recording the whole width.
Oh.
So.
How much width do I have?
So I don't actually know this about Wade. I know this a little bit about Mark. And you do leave dishes sometimes. It has been known to happen.
Well, I know what Wade's going to say because he never lets me forget about it.
What?
I put this up preemptively to thwart the one story
What do you mean?
about how, just because I left some boiled eggs that I forgot that I cooked on the counter for a few weeks doesn't mean that and just because I'm holding one of my, technically a dish, it's a steak knife that's not in the sink, it's in my living room, but just because.
Well, you were just using it. That's not the same thing.
I was using it a few days ago.
Oh, well, that really undercuts my point.
So I'm trying to get ahead of the curve here because I have a funny feeling that I'm going to be roasted here, and I'm trying to anti-roast myself.
Overnight, the answer was both of us. But I was also playing my opponent / spouse here because I knew he also knew it was him. I'm gonna be honest, Molly is so much better about doing things like that than I am, so I'll leave something, I'll be like, I'll get that in a bit. And she'll be like, I cleaned the whole kitchen, like the whole kitchen will be sparkling, she'll have done all the dishes. I'm like, thank you. And she's like, you're welcome, whatever. Whereas I'm just like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. I am the do it later person. But weeks or days, it doesn't get to that with me, but I know someone who sometimes it does.
Because
Weeks is a stretch for me, but I'm definitely the guy who's like, I'll do it later. I'll do it later. Oh, this is more than one entire dishwasher load now. This was really...
I also can't help but emphasize that particular live stream that we smelled the eggs the whole time was also the same one where Mark ruined his phone number by doxing himself.
oh yeah,
It was a really bad live stream.
Was that in that apartment where
Yes.
there was some really funny or funny in a failure sort of way live streams that happened in that specific apartment?
yeah.
Yep.
Good old Skype and its incredible security.
Yeah.